Mackenzie. I just wanted to make a short video. I mean, 17 minutes isn't long compared to the other videos, but I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. I was just thinking about this because, I struggle with this. I think we all do. Every single one of us, whether we belong to God or not, because it's in our nature to not want to submit to anything but ourselves. But see, the problem with that is, and again, this is going to probably sound really oddballish to you, like all my other videos about God, because unless you're in a relationship with God, you don't really experience a lot of things. Like if you're just going with the flow with everyone else, you're just gonna experience the same stuff everyone else experiences, generally speaking. But this, what I'm about to say, applies to everyone, whether or not whether or not you believe in God, just whatever. And there's a reason for this, and I'm going to use the world as an example. The reason the world is so messed up is because all of us, like I said before, we're put here to have a relationship with God. That's our overall purpose. And a big part of having a relationship with God is to just give our lives to Him. And that's the reason it's not an option. Isn't because God is some controlling narcissistic entity in the sky that demands people to obey Him. He's a loving God, and there's things in this universe, things on this very planet called demonic spirits. And if whatever part of your life is not submitted to God, put it this way: if you're not in a relationship with God, when God came down here and died on the cross, He broke. This can be found in Colossians chapter 2, verses 14, 15, and 16. So you could definitely look at it right there. That's one, that pretty much explains it right there. When He died on the cross, He canceled the powers of darkness per se over a believer, over a child of God. Now that obviously that does not mean that the child of God is exempt to the world's problems. To live is to suffer. We live in a fallen world. We're going to suffer, all of us. But when God has His hands on your life, nothing will happen to a person that belongs to God. That is, I think it's Romans 8:28 means, or says, everything that happens, to a child of God, it'll all work out for the better good. Now, obviously, things work out every day for people who don't belong to God. But if you belong to God, it's guaranteed to work out eventually. Even I'm not gonna lie to you, even if it means if you belong to God, you're going to heaven. It doesn't get any more, that's a place that not very many people are gonna go to. So, like I was saying, like any part of your life or my life or anybody's life out here, roughly 7 billion of us, that any part of our life that is not submitted to God is going to draw fear. And fear draws not good stuff. So any part of anybody's life, whether it's unforgiveness, whether it's an addiction, whether it's a thought process, also known as could be considered a stronghold in somebody's life, like unforgiveness is a stronghold, and addiction, I don't know what an addiction would classify as, but it's that all that stuff brings darkness into somebody's life, which is a breeding ground for all kinds of problems. Now, as soon as somebody fully submits their life to God, and that is a process, some longer than others, some more brutal than others, because some people are more, I don't know if you want to call it nature or whatever, but it's in our fallen nature, all of us, to just want to take care of things ourselves. But see, the thing is a lot of people out here think that they're living for themselves when they're really not. Like I said before in one of my other videos, we have two choices, and there's no in between. There's no I'm staying out of it and I'm going to let everybody else do whatever they want to do. No, we have two choices: Satan or God. And look at it out there. Most of the world is not submitted to God. They're not even under His wing. That's why the world is so messed up, because people think that they can do it themselves. And, that breeds corruption, that breeds, people acting crazy and weird. So, the world, there's a reason why the world is so fallen, because a lot of people just don't want to submit. And And I could see where that would be the case, because there's a lot of confusion out there. Like, there's a whole bunch of different religions. That's a crazy, that's a very good question, that people have, like, to look at all the religions out there, like, pick one. How do you know which one is the right way? Because none of it's the right way. A relationship with God is what God died for, not religion, not nothing else, but a straight up relationship, and that's the biblical God. I mean, the Bible is used for religion, sure, like Catholicism and stuff. I mean, you could sit there and, use a football helmet to play hockey, but you're still playing hockey. You're not playing football. I mean, it's kind of a stupid way to put it, but you can really. I mean, the Bible is, it's in Matthew. I mean, in other places too. I mean, when God came down here and walked in the flesh, he was not about religion, not at all. I mean, I've already went through the laws and what all that stuff. I'm not going to get into all this. 17 minutes. I just want to stick to the topic. Like, whatever part of your life individually, I'm talking to my daughter here, is not. I mean, obviously, all of us, but this is a video to you, so I'm just going to, make it personal to you. Is not submitted to God, is a breeding ground for let's call it what it is, demons. Negative forces. I mean, and that stuff is real, but so is God. So, and I'm definitely not trying to, scare you or sound like I'm crazy or anything. I'm just letting you know what's up. And it's not a belief. Some things I'm just pretty well aware of. So, I'm just letting you know that things that are not, again, I know I keep saying the same thing over and over and over again, but any part of your life personally, any part that is not submitted completely and totally is not protected by God. That's what I'm trying to say. So, in other words, if you're okay, like, let's say you're okay in 60, 70% of your life, but there's that 30% that you just can't seem to hand over to God, whether it be unforgiveness is a huge one for a lot of people, and I'm still kind of working on that one myself, kind of, sort of, but I mean, that's a process. I mean, some people in some situations are more easy to forgive than others, because it depends on the hurt, and stuff like that. And it's okay to go through the process. Like, I'm not trying to freak you out, but not being able to submit to God is goes with our nature. That's why you have to have, God help you out with these things. I'm telling you right now, I mean, that's why the world is such a mess, and that's why people are just, because they're not being protected. And, I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, if somebody wants to be fully protected from A to Z, they have to fully submit their life. And all that means is just God, it doesn't mean that just laying back and staying complacent and not moving on with your life. Of course, there's decisions to make. You got to get up every day and be, and be productive and stuff like that, obviously. But, especially things that are out of your control, such as somebody hurting you or whatever, like unforgiveness, lay that down and let it go. And understand that it's probably not going to be on your timetable. It might take years, or it might not be accomplished in this lifetime. But just understand that God is well aware of it, and it will be dealt with. Trust me. And there's a good chance that it will be dealt with on this planet. But like I said before to you a while back in one or two of these videos when I had my iPhone, is God is a gentleman, so to speak. He's not going to sit there and crawl through your window at 3 o'clock in the morning and steal your problems off your table and run away and force you. He doesn't force people. Now, if you ask for God's help and you say, hey, look, I really want to give this to you, but I just can't do it. I can't do it. Most people go through that. That is nothing new to God. But God will sit there and really work with you, and you could just really hand it off to him when you get to that point. But at least at that point, still, you're under the, you don't have to sit there and fully submit to God. He will, all you have to do is sit here, first, obviously, come into a relationship with God through repentance and putting your faith in that finished work. Ask him to come into your life and help you to break away from this stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sitting here saying any part of your life that is not submitted, it is, if you're trying to submit something or you're working with God to submit, a part of your life over to him, I don't see any reason why that part of your life that isn't fully submitted to him wouldn't be protected anyways, because you've acknowledged it and you really want to submit it to him, but for some reason it's just not happening right away. That's fine. He'll come in and help you. That's why he died. He died for you like he died for me and everyone else. So, I'm definitely not trying to freak you out and be like, well, I can't fully submit right away. He knows that. That's. So I'm just saying, like, but you can, but what anybody can do is they could say, hey, look, I'm having a really hard time passing this off to you. I really want to, but I don't know why I can't. I just can't do it at the moment. Can you really help me out? At that split second, I don't see any reason why God would not protect you from that.